Hello, everyone, and congratulations on finishing week 2. I know there were a lot of different types of assignments and some challenges this past week, so I appreciate all of you overcoming those challenges. I'm going to be posting a separate video and putting out an announcement about the group project, so please take a look at that if you have questions about the group project, and actually take a look at it regardless, because there's going to be some changes that I think will make life a little bit better. So last week we discussed some challenges to Agile with the That's Not Agile scenario poll, and we also talked about product vision statements. So I'm going to be posting specific feedback to your discussion, so please take a look at that feedback and let me know if you have any questions if you want to talk about it. These are common challenges that come up from team members, sometimes with good intentions and sometimes just to get out of doing work. So for example, as you can imagine, someone who doesn't want to do documentation might think that documentation isn't agile when the tenet actually states, working software over comprehensive documentation, not instead of comprehensive documentation. So take a look at that feedback, especially on the remote teams one, because that's a very hot topic right now in the Agile community. The second thing we did was rank those product vision statements, and product vision statements can be tough. So I think we all identified that the Snuggie product vision statement was not effective. It wouldn't be able to see how the product was different or create something new. The challenge came between Uber and the Instapot. And Uber is a tricky one. And I suspected that many of you, because you know what Uber is, look at that product vision statement and say, yeah, that makes sense. But if you can pretend to forget what Uber actually does, that particular product vision statement isn't anything different than a cheaper taxi service. It doesn't mention that it's an app. It doesn't mention that it uses local drivers and supports local jobs, which is important also because the background check issue has come into play. Whereas the Instapot, it tells you exactly what the product is and how it is different. So very tight. I'm happy to hear your feedback on the two, but when you think of these product vision statements, one of the challenges you will have is you know what it looks like, but the rest of the team doesn't. So imagine this person who knew what Uber looked like and they would put a vision statement out like that. Well, yeah, it's just a cheaper taxi service. I can get a driver immediately by calling that person, and I can call a service and they can find me a driver. What was really different was the app. So I hope you had an interesting time ranking those different things, and I hope you're learning stuff in the process. So I want to talk a little bit about MVP. MVP is a critical thing in Agile, and we're going to be focused on that this week. There's a quote in there that I love that states, a quote in this week that states, "Perfection is achieved not when there is nothing more to add, but when there is nothing more to take away." And that is incredibly important when it comes to minimum viable product, especially if you're building something new. What you want to do with minimum viable product is figure out what is the most important thing I need feedback on. What is going to make or break the success of this product? That is my minimum viable product. Does it matter if the screen is red or blue? Probably not, unless those colors have something to do with what the technology does. Does it matter if the table is round or square? Maybe. Is it supposed to fit in a corner, or is it supposed to fit somewhere else? If not, maybe it just matters that the table stands rather than it fits in a square or a corner. So keep that in mind as you go through this process. Minimum viable product, especially if you are a product owner, is something you will have to understand intimately in order to be successful. So again, I'll be posting another video about your group projects, and I look forward to working with you this week.